If you try to teach it, I've learned this early in my coaching career. If you try to coach everybody, nobody's going to listen. But if you're able to coach that one person, and sometimes that's just your past self, then those people who are going through the same problems will listen and pay because they want your decade of experience so that they don't have to do it in a decade. They can just do it in 10 weeks, 10 days, even 10 minutes. They want to save time. And you can do that as you go through it. I want to ask you, how many of you have ever read 100 books in a year? Most people will be like, no, I haven't done that. And I haven't done it either. However, I remember when I first started to read from the average dyslexic dude that I was back in 2018 of just maybe one book a year to then working to a few and then a dozen, then a couple dozen, up to 50 plus every single year. I remember along that journey that I made a mistake and I didn't learn about it until 3 years in. 3 years in, I was sitting there and I can't remember who I was listening to. It could have been Alex Hormozy, it could have been Tony Robbins, but this thought came up in my mind that the knowledge I was getting of the hundreds of books that I was reading and listening to and absorbing, I wasn't doing anything with it. All this wisdom that I have of just these years and decades from people is just stuck in my head. And the mistake that I made was I kept it there. That all this knowledge, all these thoughts and ideas that they just stayed inside. And the people who I needed to help and the business that I wanted to create was just that. It was just a wish because I was simply not applying what I was learning. And with the principle from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill of specialized knowledge, in my head, I put that also into applied knowledge. Because we have general knowledge. You can go to Google and, man, especially since AI is exploding these days, you can go to your favorite AI platform. You can type in, how old is Tony Robbins? Literally did that like a few minutes ago. 66 years old at this time. And it just pops up. But you can also search how to create a post on Instagram and how to upload a YouTube video, how to learn about type 1 diabetics for dummies, how to learn how to build an IKEA shelf for dummies. Like the general knowledge is there and the instructions are right in front of you. But it's what you do with it afterwards that matters. Napoleon Hill starts with desire, which is something that you want. If you don't want something, why the heck would you change? Then it goes into faith, which another word for that is belief. You know what you want and you see the possibility of it happening, but then you don't do anything with it. So to be able to truly believe is to then add the action part of, okay, now I'm going to start acting in accordance as if the possibility is already going to happen. Then it goes to autosuggestion, which is simply keeping it in front of your mind, putting a post-it note on your fridge or your bathroom mirror or right on your dresser, having your goal, having your declaration statement there so that you know exactly what you're working for. Another thing is like a vision board. It's having it in front of you so that you know where it's at, whether that's sitting at your house or on your lock screen. But then after all of that, after you bring it to the front of your mind, you believe in the possibility, you know what you want, what the heck's the next step? Well, the next thing is get specific about what you are learning about. Get specific about what industry you're going in. There's this whole thing about like let's be real. Most people chase general knowledge. They could be reading books, they could be watching videos, they can be learning everything. But the people who actually win, the people who actually become the champions are the ones who see the problems that are happening, but then give the specific solution for them. The entrepreneurs on Shark Tank aren't just there because they paid to be on the platform or they are friends with Mark Cuban or Mr. Wonderful. No, it's because they get so specific on solving a problem. from the little smiley face sponge to the little hose connector that hooks up to a fire hydrant for firefighters. Like there are so many ideas and there's so many problems out there that the solutions need to be so specific. And I know that one of the things I'm working on with the business that I have is helping dyslexics. I know that here at Champion Circle, we're helping business owners to be able to achieve a goal in 90 days or less. That's pretty specific. And we don't give general knowledge because, again, you can look it up on Google, but we give a roadmap. We talk about the problems so specific to where literally we'd be laying in bed and thinking, I'm thinking about myself sitting next to my spouse, laying in bed thinking, man, I want to be able to provide for them. I don't want my wife to need to work. I don't want her feeling the burden of having to go get an extra job just because I'm not providing. It's when I go out and I'm working with my employees or people who are oh my goodness, what is the word for that? Freelance, who freelance for me. It's, do I have a transactional relationship with them, or like, do I know who they are and they're long-term people who are going to stick with it? But even more specific of, how do I get to where I want to go? Like, this is all specialized knowledge. So I want to give a framework. Like, for those of you who are just like, I know what I want and I kind of know how to get there, but I don't know how to solve a specific problem for a specific people. Let me give you a framework. First thing, find a problem to solve. What is the problem that you are wanting to solve? Once you know what that is, and here we'll not just glance over that, but finding the problem to solve. One of the best things to do is to look at your own life and be like, what are some things that I need to learn? Like, what are some specific things that I need to know? That way that I know how to solve it for other people. If any of you watch TikTok or watch like YouTube shorts, Amalfi Jets, this private company who puts out TikTok videos about like, this is the best private, what do you call it, private flying brokerage to be able to go with, to be able to get private jets and stuff. I don't make enough money to be able to get a private jet yet, but I know that because they, one, were consistent with it, and two, address the problems in a nice, entertaining way for the people who are flying private, that when that happens and I need planes to go, they already got my good grace to be able to go over there and to work with them. So ask yourself, when it comes to like picking a problem, what is the problem that you can solve consistently? Because that's going to be able to be the solution for someone. Second thing is to go deep, not wide. Again, we got AI, we got general knowledge. As a neurodivergent myself, I'm seeing this awesome trend that's happening in the world today, in which other neurodivergents, dyslexic, ADHD, autistic, OCD, whatever divergent you're a part of, is that AI is really helping us with our weaknesses. Like, no joke. The reading and writing that usually took me forever to do can be done in a matter of seconds. And now I have more time to be creative, which I am very strong with, and be able to recognize patterns and to problem solving things outside the box. It's really cool. But I know what that is because I dive deep into it instead of wide. Wide is covered by AI. Deep needs to be covered by you. And I'll say that one more time. AI covers what's wide. You cover what's deep, what the people need. So we need to stop learning from everything and start mastering a single lane. And that comes from the problem that you're trying to solve. And then the second thing is start applying it fast. Like that mistake that I made when I was just starting out in those first couple of years when I was reading those books, is that I wasn't applying my knowledge. And I'll be honest with you, it was a hard pill to swallow. But me reading that many books, but not sharing my knowledge, is just as good as if I didn't read them in the first place. And that kind of sucks because I put a lot of time into that. So how do I combat that? How do I get out of it? Well, I start using the knowledge that I have. And if I were, I'm grateful back then that I read so many. And today I'm grateful for what I know now, because now it's what is one thing I can get from this book to start applying. It's to start applying it fast, because I don't want to be that person who is just the same as someone who didn't read it in the first place, just because of my ego, my pride, my selfishness to keep it inside my head. I don't want to give value until people pay for me. I don't want to share all my secrets. Well, no one's going to listen to you if you don't have something good to say. So start sharing it, start giving that value, apply it fast, do it consistently. And whatever business that you have, people are going to come. They're going to know that you're the person to go to. Just like for me with private jet flying, I know that's going to be a few years out, but I know Amalfi Jets is it. So apply it fast. And that's the framework. First thing is to pick a problem. Second thing is to go deep, not wide. And then the third thing is to apply it fast. Because when it comes to specialized knowledge and becoming the expert and the master in it, the deeper you go and the more that you master that one topic, the more that you're considered the expert and master in it. And people will listen to you. If you try to teach it, I've learned this early in my coaching career. If you try to coach everybody, nobody's going to listen. But if you're able to coach that one person, and sometimes that's just your past self, then those people who are going through the same problems will listen and pay, because they want your decade of experience so that they don't have to do it in a decade. They can just do it in 10 weeks, 10 days, even 10 minutes. They want to save time. And you can do that as you go through it. So my challenge is do that framework, find that one problem that you're doing. And if you know that problem, then go to the second part, which for some reason is skipping my head, which is, there you go deep instead of wide. We make mistakes here. It's awesome. Go deep instead of wide, and start applying it fast. Don't be like I was back when I first started, to where I was keeping it in and I was just as good as the person who didn't read it all. Be the one who's out there and applying it. And I know what I've seen from myself and the people who we've worked with here at Champion Circle, that the faster you connect the dots between the thoughts that you have and the actions that you take, the quicker you can fill that gap, is the quicker in which you can get the results that you want and become the success that you desire.